work together. I mean, especially in like today's multiplayer-driven society, it's so nice to work with somebody instead of against somebody. Even on like a multiplayer game, I prefer a more team-oriented game like Battlefield or Battlefield. I like class systems and.
Hey guys, it's the Philosopher, and welcome to another episode of the Console Xplosion Podcast. Today we had a new guest. We have a new member of the TCX, so we welcomed him on and got to know him a little bit, and then we dove right into all the good stuff. The first thing being, everyone knows about it right now who's into YouTube at all, knows about the Fine Brothers and their whole announcement of their website and all the other legalities and stuff that they talked about. So we dig into that, talk about the facts that we have at the time. As of the podcast being done, more information has come out. There's new things going on, and it doesn't look too good for them right now, but we'll see where things go with that. The next thing we talked about was cooperative games. We dug into that a little bit. We all talked about the games that we liked, our gripes with co-op games right now, and some of the other things going on in the co-op world. After that, we get into a little bit of a console debate between PC, PS4 and the Xbox One and so on, why we have what we have, why we're not getting what we don't want to get, and all of those things, what games we're playing on, what consoles we're playing on, and things of that nature. Then one of my favorite topics, as you guys might know, is fighting games. We talked about fighting games, mainly the Street Fighter, Capcom type games, and also fight sticks. Side note, I do want to mention that we are an affiliate of Mad Catz. I personally am a fan of Mad Catz. I love their fight sticks. I swear by them. I only use the Mad Catz fight sticks, not because we're an affiliate, just because I love the Mad Catz brand. That said, we have a link down below that you guys can check out where you can get any of the Mad Catz stuff that they have. They also have headphones, they have other kinds of controllers, all the fight sticks you can check out. With Street Fighter V right around the corner, and with it only going to be on PlayStation 4 and PC, it might be good to actually get a fight stick and start learning the ropes if you're really interested in fighting games. I personally think fight sticks are the way to go. Some people prefer controller, some people might even use a keyboard. That aside, we talked about the new upcoming Street Fighter V, and we got into a little bit of a debate about all the different versions that they released. I personally don't have a problem with it, but it seems like some people on the show were kind of upset about that. I do want to share my opinion. I personally have no problem with the different versions of the games coming out. Some people seem to have a problem. You guys let us know what you think about that. And then the last bit of information we talked about was DC releasing some new updates, and we get into that a little bit. But you'll find out all about all the things I talked about and more in this episode. So I hope you guys enjoy the show, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, it's the Philosopher, and I've got familiar faces and a new face. The first person is Ian, aka the Historical Nerd. How's it going?
Great. Good to be back as always.
And then we have Jared, who might pop up a little bit later. He's indisposed right now. And then we have a new face here, which is Nicholas, aka the Weiler.
Hello, I'm from DOG, Deadly Operative Grunts.
Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your channel?
Well, like I said, I'm from Deadly Operative Grunts, and basically what we do is video games, movies, a little bit of everything. Right now, Wednesdays are our video game days, so previews, reviews, and then Fridays is our movie day, so movie reviews, previews, and stuff like that. We have many different segments. One where my wife actually comes on. We call that a woman's perspective. For our PC, we have PC Purebreds. And then we have Dog v Dog, where we're going to be doing like debates that have to do with video games and stuff like that. And then our preview for movies is called Dog Watching. And then actually, hopefully in March, crossing my fingers, we're going to do like skits and stuff like that. So kind of like an SNL or a Mad TV, but heavily nerd related or game related. And so it'll be like a little compilation, anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes. See how people react to it, and then go up to maybe 20 to 30 minutes. And so yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything. Oh, and live streams. Sunday is live streams. I go on the PlayStation 4 and I just play a game.
Cool. And we'll put links to all this in the show notes and the comments as well, so that everyone can check it out. But how long have you been doing all this?
Well, technically, over a year. I had a previous partner that I was with, and we tried to figure out our format, and we ended up breaking up. I won't get into details or whatever. And so then I found my new team, and he introduced me to Rogue Dreamers, and then I got introduced to Evil Roach, and so we just kind of molded together, and now we have a team of about 6 guys, or 5 guys and 1 girl. Well, I guess technically 5 guys and 2 girls, because like I said, my wife comes on, and the Rogue Dreamers, his wife plays video games as well. So yeah, it's just kind of a compilation of like Idaho guys and girls and stuff like that. So about a year. So I think technically I would have to say 6 months, because that's really when we started getting our, when we really started picking up steam. Because before, we do like once a month, and only recently did we really start going weekly. So now it's like, now we're having 3 videos a week, and we're going to up that to 4. Hopefully, like I said, in March, we're going to up it to 4 videos a week. And yeah, 2016 is going to be a pretty awesome year for DOG.
All right, that sounds good. Hopefully that is the case for all of us. You just said Idaho, so I take it you know Ian in person then.
Actually,
well, not person.
Okay, just a coincidence.
Yeah. He actually went on to Idaho Gamers, and he liked them on there, right? And then you found me.
Well, yeah, it was like I somehow got invited to that group, and I was like, oh, cool. And I was talking to the main person, and I asked if I could post a video, and then I saw your video was there. And then I was like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting stuff. So then I sent it to you, and then I'm like, well, actually, that's pretty good material, so I think definitely be worth joining the community over.
Yeah. And then here I am. The rest is history, as they say.
All right. And now we have you on the show.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's nice to meet you, because this is my first time meeting in person, so the people are getting to know you the same time I get to know you, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we can go ahead and dig into our first topic, which I know I am just not finding about this within the last couple of days, but I know Ian knows a good bit about it, and Jared, if he pops up, he knows some about it. But Ian, if you want to go ahead and talk about
the Fine Bros.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess was it 2 days ago? They posted a video talking about how the Fine Bros was going to start doing React World, which they call a community of reactors, basically. I guess that's the phrase they're using now, where they will, in an essence, bring together community people that will react to material on the internet, kind of like what a lot of people do on YouTube already, which is, I don't necessarily think it's very challenging or worthwhile material, but a lot of people are into it for whatever reason. And so their goal, apparently, is by setting up this community. They're using the phrase community because legally they can say that and not get in trouble. Because what they want to do is start letting you use their material and use their brand name, but then they'll start taking a cut of your channel's profits. So they're almost setting up like a whatever it is, like Studio Maker is the network things for YouTube. So in essence, kind of like that. But what they're running into is there's been a lot of pushback, especially like on Reddit, where I would say there are several thousand people that are really hating on what they're doing. And within like 15 hours of them posting this video, there's already been like countless other videos of people ridiculing the crap out of them. Like even Mega64 made a video mocking them about this decision. Because one of the big things they talked about on their whole multi-channel community thing was they wanted their members to report people that weren't a part of their brand as it was. So that's where a lot of the issue comes from, where basically they're trying to corner the market on this reaction crap.
Right. And I'm still learning about all the details, so I'm trying to keep my opinions to a minimum until I find out more.
Yeah.
But I've kind of teetered both ways because I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, like the subject matter at hand, I care so little about it that like either way, it's like I don't give a damn. But I mean, if it was something a little bit more, like I'm sure there are people who do love this subject matter. I mean, obviously they have a bunch of followers and they've reached a lot of people, so people do like it. But it does, if it's from what I understand, the way everyone has explained it to me so far, if that is the case, that seems pretty ridiculous to me, to be able to do that. I mean, hopefully it's not as bad as they're making it seem, and I mean, they made it sound like on the video that I watched, it made it seem like it was free to join and all that good stuff, but if they're taking a profit of it, I don't know how, like, I understand if you're using their format and their advertising and their, their marketing stuff, their logos and whatever, fine. But if I just make a channel that's, I like to do reaction videos, I don't see how they can legally take action on that if it's like a different style of format. If I just changed the format a little bit but still had the same concept.
Yeah, so it seems to me like their goal right now, this is just me speculating, but it's kind of, the whole premise is kind of ridiculous in the sense that they're trying to, because they've already copyrighted basically or trademarked the concept of like kids react, celebrities react, these different things. So they trademarked that in the way that on YouTube they want to try and limit the field of people that can create content similar to theirs, which I could understand, but here's the thing, it's like you can't control that on a public forum like YouTube. So that's where a lot of people are upset with it. And one of the main things they're like, what was the thought I was going for here? But like the main kickback is the sense that they're trying to manipulate the field in such a way that they don't want anyone else to pop up that isn't directly controlled by them, because it almost comes off like a direct cash grab. And I'm sure wonder if Jared has any opinion on this.
Yeah, you have anything to add, Jared?
Sorry for coming in late, everybody. I apologize. When the mother calls, you have to talk to her.
Yeah.
So, this whole thing with the Fine Brothers thing, I find it really ridiculous in the sense of, yes, when you watch the video, it makes sense. You understand what they're trying to get across. It makes sense. But when it comes to the fine print, when it comes to actually filling out the paperwork and reading what's on there, there's a lot of changes. Being a part of Reddit and the pissed off Reddit readers, there was a lot to almost backdoor dealings about this whole this whole situation, which again, all the power to them. I think it's a great idea. Let's put all the videos of our kind together, and if you want to make a video and you're underneath us, we're going to give you our intellectual properties, we're going to give you our logos, give you our music, give you our graphics, which is the same thing we do here at the Console Xplosion. I mean, people who join us, you're given our openings, you're given our graphics, you're given access to our music catalog, you're given access to everything we have, but the difference is we're not copywriting or trademarking certain things, right? We're allowing people to do their own thing, as well as people who are not part of the Console Xplosion to do their own thing. And I think that's where the React people are being a little bit different, as Ian was mentioning, that they want to pretty much corner the market for their own React world. So, but that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I think what they should do, rather than trying to like monetize every kind of person wanting to do this, they should just allow them to openly post it on their website and share it, because, I mean, for multiple reasons. One, if you're not trying to monetize off of people and look like you're trying to just be this big corporate type of person, you're just gonna share what people have posted. The small guy benefits and they still benefit because you get traffic going to their website, because they're trying to get traffic to their website. If they're trying to get off of YouTube onto their own platform, which is what was it, reactworld.com.
Yes, but you're giving them a whole idea of them starting their own multi-channel community, and I think that's already been taken by us.
Oh. Well,
right? Because that's pretty much what we do. We're a multi-channel community, and our partners, who are not our featured people. Sorry, not our partners, but people who join up with us. We have our community section. That's what it's there for. If you make videos and you want your stuff promoted, hey, that's what we're here for. Shoot us an email. Shoot us a link to your video. We'll post it on our website. We post it twice a week, right? You have a whole community section open for the viewers and other people, right, who are not featured players like the Historic Nerd or our newest one, Dog. I always want to say Dog Ops. I don't know why. It's just what always comes out. But him, the new guy, Nicholas, the one you've never seen before. That's what we do, and it would make sense for React World to do the same thing. But you know what? Fuck them. That's our model. We'll sue you bastards if you try to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna see you, bitch. Yeah.
See you in court.
Yeah, I'll take our idea.
Well, they have the right name for it, the Fine Brothers, and they want to fine everybody.
That's what people were saying, yeah. Exactly. Like the Mega 64's video is pretty critical of them.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I think they really hurt themselves, but I mean, they were talking about intellectual properties for all their stuff, and they're going to go after not just the Kids React stuff, but they're going to go after like Epic Mealtime, anything that's like that show. Anything like their gaming shows, anything like all their other networks underneath the Fine Brothers, they were going to do the same thing, go after, in the sense of...
Do they own Epic Mealtime?
I believe it's something like that is underneath them. Let me see here. Their digital shows are... Sing It, React to That, Superfan Suite, 6 Degrees thing. Oh, maybe they don't have that. Oh no, wait, that's television series. Sorry, hang on. React franchise, gaming franchise, emo dads, spoiler recaps. But they were just talking about like their whole other franchises that they do or whatever.
Yeah, their goal is to effectively push people out. That's kind of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's actually kind of ridiculous. It's
it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
it's already backfiring really bad on them.
Yeah, it's like Donald Trump trying to take you're fired, and he tried to copyright that. It's the exact same ththing. Just because of his Apprentice show. Huh?
But he did get it.
Oh, he did? Well, how are you? Is that why people are like, you're terminated?
You're terminated.
Terminated.
Wait, what?
No longer employ you here.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's a really odd move on their part. Well, actually, that isn't an odd move, but it's one of those things where they're gearing up and trying to become, I would say, a more legitimate, less legitimate entertainment hub of some sort, where they want to try and basically just rope more people into manipulating the funds out of their accounts on YouTube and just milking that YouTube cow as much as they can.
See, and that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, they even said, this is a quote-unquote licensing program. So you don't have to share, you're not sharing revenue with us, so don't worry, you can still be with other MCNs, but you're taking money from people from not just those videos, but the overall channel from what I read on Reddit. I might be wrong on that, but I'm just going by what I read on Reddit, where it stated that the money that they take for the licensing is off your whole channel, not just the videos used with their stuff.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And when you say Reddit, you mean the AMA, the Ask Me Anything?
Well, no, Reddit is a large. They call themselves the front page of the internet, but Reddit is a huge kind of like user-generated content forum that a ton of crap hits. Like, we're talking millions of users go to that site.
And yes, they were trying to do an AMA. The people from Fine Brothers were on there trying to answer questions, which they can only answer every 10 minutes.
Well,
which is like...
Because they got nuked. Like, I've never seen that happen where, like, they tried to post in that Reddit post about what they were doing, and, like, people were just ripping into them about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen a Reddit post with negative 2,000 karma before.
Oh.
Yeah, so that means 2,000 people voted against it, but that probably means another 2,000 maybe voted it up. So you got somewhere in the mix of like 10,000 people just hating their guts relentlessly in that moment.
Well, no publicity is bad.
See, the problem is true. I mean, it hasn't hurt their numbers in the Fine Brothers on YouTube. They're still at 14 million subscribers.
Well, I mean, like, considering probably like 12 million of those users are like 13-year-olds who don't know about Reddit.
True. I mean, fuck, I didn't even know about Reddit until we talked about the last podcast.
Yeah, wow. You're like, Reddit? Question mark? Well, you're Canadians.
Well, what's this internet thing you're talking about?
When does the email man arrive? I haven't gotten my spam yet.
Me and Ian are racist, apparently, or nationalist.
No,
nationalist.
You both went the Canadian route. Sure.
Okay.
Nationalist, yeah. I like my country.
Hmm.
More so than Canada. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it's just this whole thing is like, it blew up in their face, and I would love to see what it's gonna take for them. I honestly, I don't think it's gonna take much for them because, like I said, it hasn't hurt them in their numbers. I said I made the comment is like, if it really pisses you off, unsubscribe, stop watching their videos, right? If it really makes you that angry about it, unsubscribe, don't watch their videos, then they're not going to be people. But I want to see a big MCN like Full Screen, see what happens when someone from Full Screen joins their licensing program, quote unquote, and then all of a sudden they're doing double dipping revenue. Full Screen ain't going to put up with that shit, and they're going to go after them.
Double dipping. That's a no-no. It's a party foul.
You double chip the chip.
Exactly. Now, as much as I love talking about legal stuff and people getting sued and whatnot, I want to talk about some comics.
Yeah! I have something to say about this.
Yeah.
Been preparing all day for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can go ahead and fire away if you want to go ahead and start it off.
Oh, like Deadpool? Everybody's excited about Deadpool.
Yeah.
And their marketing is just absolutely genius. I was talking to you earlier about this, and just everything that they've been doing with the marketing is just absolutely genius. Up to the point where they actually have a poster that makes it look like a rom-com, because they have Ryan Reynolds and what's her name? Firefly. That's what I'll call her. But they have them, and they're like on this, like they're leaning up against a pier, and they're staring out, and it's all like kind of glowy, and so they make it look like a romantic comedy or something. And so, I mean, even that is just like genius, because it's like I would just love to see the backfire of like women getting on Facebook. I was tricked to go to this. And I would just laugh about that. And then, of course, you have your Fondle Your Balls More Often and your Australia Day. I mean, just everything about this is just genius. I mean, he even had like he had one where he did Halloween. So he's like, this is what Deadpool did for Halloween. And he was like messing with some kids in the park or whatever. And, of course, just being Deadpool, cussing and stuff. And then there was that one kid. He tried to start a petition to make Deadpool PG-13. So Deadpool took the reins, and he's like, F this and tell your mom she's a whore and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know if that petition was real, but it's still giving him attention. And I mean, it was still hilarious to see that. Right?
Yeah. I hope that last part was fake, but yeah, I watched all of the other different advertisements and marketing things that they had. The Australia Day one cracked me up. If you guys haven't seen those, check it out. Like where he's wearing this ridiculous hat and he starts swatting at the hat. I don't want to explain it because it'll take away the funniness of it, but it's pretty good. I am so glad that they recasted Ryan Reynolds for this movie. I think I've said that multiple times now, but I think he is the perfect Deadpool. One of many, I'm sure, but he was definitely a great pick for Deadpool. And Nick, you actually said something before the show about why in the Wolverine movie he had his mouth sewn shut, which I hadn't heard of before.
Yeah, I was watching like a top 10 video, and it's like top 10 times a movie was ruined by a producer's interference or something like that. And I never knew this, and so it's like it kind of just shines a new light on the effed upness that was the Wolverine origins. So apparently, the whole reason why they sewed Deadpool's mouth shut was because they didn't want him to take away from Hugh Jackman. This was Hugh Jackman's movie. It wasn't Ryan Reynolds' movie. It was Hugh Jackman's movie, And so, I mean, that speaks to how good of a Deadpool he was, that they were scared of him taking the spotlight from Hugh Jackman.
But also wasn't even the same actor. It was actually a stand-in.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't our boy there. It was a different actor actually that they brought in. So sewing his mouth shut was also more. Well, because it was dumb. It was one of the things you're like, well, this never happened in the comics, and he has a freaking sword. Why wouldn't he just go?
Right.
Like cut his mouth open.
Yeah, no, he had swords out of his hands. Remember?
Well,
this. Right.
Well, yeah, but it's like
you could still like.
So it was a really dumb decision. Like there was a lot of stuff in that movie where you're like, why did you do that?
Actually, the best thing about that movie, I watched it recently again.
The end.
The credits.
Yes. Yeah, I mean that movie was stupid.
The Kei Kawachi was just, I mean, that bring a tear to my eye. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
The next one was still just as terrible. Like as far as the Wolverine stand-alones go, like the one where he's in Japan and loses his powers, it was just as god awful.
Yeah, what was so weird about that is like they almost like refused to acknowledge mutants. Like he was the only mutant in that. Well, besides like the little Japanese chick, I guess, because she could see in the future. But it's like. They didn't talk about other mutants besides the one that were in the immediate area.
I think a lot of that has to do, ironically, with the fact that like the word mutant
weren't allowed to.
Actually, it's licensed from Marvel. So the X-Men franchise and the concept of sorry, my dog has an opinion too. Is licensed from Marvel. So that's why Marvel is launching this whole dumb concept of the Inhumans. It's because it's their. Really, dog? Really? Okay, sorry. It's why Marvel's launching their concept of the Inhumans, because they don't have the rights to the concept of the phrase mutants at the moment.
Right.
So their whole not mentioning it might actually be a part of the fact that they only have limited access with that movie because it's a spin-off, and so it might be contractually limited.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just really silly in that regard.
Yeah, I was mad that they screwed up Silver Samurai. He's a cool villain, and they just made him into like a Gundam.
That's true.
Like that's not only terrible, it's fucking racist. But whatever.
That's right. Making a Japanese guy into a Gundam.
Like, come on. He was a cool character, and they just like they what's the word? Michael Bay'd him. They made him into a giant robot, and they didn't give him his because I believe he had powers as well. Yeah, he was a mutant. He was a Japanese mutant. Here, I have this Wikipedia pulled up. I can't pronounce his name right now because it takes me a second to read it, but he
Silver
Samurai? Used his powers to charge his katana, which in combination with his samurai-style armor made it silvery metal led to the moniker Silver Samurai. So it wasn't just a piece of armor; that was his ability that made him look like that. So
I mean, look at the new Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh,
look at
God,
Apocalypse.
looks like freaking Ivan Ooze.
I'm gonna give it a chance.
I mean,
I think he looks stupid. I will say that. I don't like the way he looks, but I'll probably hate it after the movie comes out. But I'm gonna wait and then say that. But probably it will not be great.
Right.
Who's the
After
one
Poe
playing,
Dameron, I
Psylocke?
think I'm willing to give him a try.
I liked some
who's
of
the one
movies.
playing Psylocke? Olivia Wilde. Is that who's playing Psylocke?
Olivia
Who's playing
Munn.
Psylocke in that movie? Olivia Munn.
Yeah.
That'd be the only reason why I go see that movie.
I didn't realize that the girl from Firefly was actually in this new movie for Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah, she was from the newsroom.
You don't know a lot of things. That's what makes me shake my head.
Who, me?
Like, did you know today's the 20th anniversary to Duke Nukem 3D?
Segue.
That's
No.
right. It's a
Did
segue.
you know?
Nope. We're talking about Duke Nukem 3D.
I am too. I didn't care about it at all.
What?
I don't care about Duke Nukem.
You
I'm
didn't?
gonna pull a Tyler. I'm gonna pull a Tyler and say I never played Duke Nukem as a kid. Never did it. I know.
And then every other member of Console
Just
Xplosion
say
says Tyler.
I think Ian would.
What about you, Nicholas?
That's how I discovered boobies.
Yep.
You say boobies?
Yes,
Yeah.
boobies.
Duke Nukem was great in the sense they're like, oh, it's just a game, Mom. Then you go to the strip club and start paying the strippers money, and they'd flash you their like hoo-ha's.
Right.
It was great. It was.
Yeah, my
it was
dad
awesome.
didn't let me play it, but I would always, sneak in and be like,
Man, I would. My poor mother, like, I would download these games on 56K, and like it would take like an entire day. My mom would be like, "Well, what's that game?" Because we weren't allowed to have games on it. But I was like, "No, it came with the computer. Don't worry. It came with the service pack. Don't worry about it. It just came with the system. Don't even think about it. Just don't ask questions." And so I'd be there playing like Quake, the Quake demo, and it was great. And like Doom and all that. And I was just telling her it came with it. But then again, like I grew up in the time like you go through a computer shop and there'd be a crate by the door of just shareware titles. So
Yeah.
you could grab like the shareware CD of Duke Nukem 3D, which was like the first 4 levels.
Yep.
Or I could be wrong, but it was like a number of levels, and you could take that home and you could play it. And that was phenomenal. And Duke Nukem was one of those titles where, man, just it sticks with you in the sense that it was such a great game to play.
right.
For me, I remember there's this little internet arcade, little internet cafe that opened up way before its time. And I went there and I played Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem 3D, and they actually set up these glasses that you could wear and actually play the game in real 3D. And I remember playing that, and that was amazing. As for you, Tavian, you suck.
Haters are going to hate.
Well, I mean, like, for Tavian, though, like, it seemed to me like PC gaming was always more of a West Coast thing. This might sound weird, but it's a theory I have. Because, I mean, like, the console gaming thing is, it seems much larger on the East Coast. Or, like, when you get to the Midwest and things like that, like, console gaming was much larger.
Mm-hmm.
I had pretty much every single console except for the Sega Saturn.
Did you have the
up.
Master System? Or no? You missed out on that one.
I missed out on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of the consoles. I've played a lot of the games. I love console gaming, but I never got into Duke Nukem. The only Duke Nukem I ever really played was the Duke Nukem Forever game, and that was atrocious.
That was great. Yeah. Like, it
That was
in
my
development
introduction
forever.
to Duke Nukem.
Oh, that's see, the problem with Duke Nukem Forever was that it was built on this nostalgia for the original, and it failed in so many ways because Duke Nukem, when it came out, it was an innovative title in the sense that it pushed the boundaries of what first-person shooters could do at that point,
Right.
which was more open environments, like leaping to different things. Because Duke Nukem before that point had been a side-scrolling kind of platformer. And so when it moved into becoming a first-person shooter, it had like this interesting element of being able to jump around and stuff like that, in comparison to like what Doom and Wolfenstein did. So you had
Which
these
is
more
pretty
open.
much just like a maze runner.
Yeah, kind of like a Maze Runner, yeah. But Doom had the luxury of like multi-level environments, so you could see that. But Duke Nukem incorporated like cityscapes, things like that, so it was a much more open environment, or like big theater screens. So you had this kind of more a larger scope of what you could see. So that was kind of innovative in its time. But because Duke Nukem was stuck in this development hell for the better part of 2 decades, it was just passed around, and then people just kind of, the people that got finally in control of it released a title that just played off the misogynistic nature of what Duke Nukem was, which you're like, well, yeah, it's great and all because you're playing to the character, but you're not doing anything different or new to help the game push forward or progress as far as like, because I mean, if your shooter isn't doing something innovative or new, you're just going to fade away instantly. And so Duke Nukem relied on its own image and concepts, and that's just where it suffered, as opposed to doing something different.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
I mean, I played Doom. I played Doom 3 and Final Doom when I came out on PS1. Played the hell out of that game, even though it scared me to bejesus. Because I think that was like a remake of the first Doom, was it not? Final Doom?
Doom 3 was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I love that. That was, besides GoldenEye, that was my first shooter. First-person shooter, yeah, besides GoldenEye.
I see Duke Nukem was mine.
Yeah, a lot of people they played Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem, the original Doom. I never got a chance to play those. I didn't get a PC until I was around like 12 or so. So I was a late bloomer when it came to PC gaming, and even then I was playing really primitive PC games. I didn't get into anything besides like SimCity and The Sims.
That was good shit though.
Oh yeah, I love this. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. I was building cities and like being this mayor dude, and I'm like 12 years old and dealing with taxes and shit.
SimCity 1 was rough as hell to play though. Like as far as like to know what you were doing in SimCity 1 was hard as hell.
No, I was playing
Especially
SimCity 3000, I think, 2000, 3000, whatever it's called.
You had SimCity 1, SimCity 2000, and then 3000. 3000 arguably I think is one of the best SimCity games. But
No way. SimCity 2000. Classic.
the 3000 had that wonderful hard industrial look to everything that was just gorgeous though.
I'm pretty sure it was 3000 that I played. It came with the compact computer that I got when I was young.
I would almost wager 2000 though, because that game was prolific in how many people had it.
Oh, maybe. I still have the disc somewhere around here, even though I've moved around so much.
Yeah, because SimCity 4 sucked ass, and the latest SimCity was like mediocre. Like it was fun for a minute, but then like once you reach the limit of your city, you're like, this is great.
Destroy everything with a natural disaster.
You couldn't even really do that in the new SimCity. It was kind of sad.
4?
Oh, well, 5. The latest one that came out.
Oh, was it 5?
Plus, you have all the online problems that I have.
Yeah, and the freaking online
the
game,
lying
which they solved like 2 years after.
Well, and they straight up lied to the people, saying, "Oh, you have to be online so that the game works properly." And then someone hacks it like 2 weeks later, and like, "Oh no, you're lying. You're a bitch."
Yeah, but I have to say though, back on Duke Nukem, playing that on the Nintendo 64 was pretty great because you could do 2-player co-op on it.
Yeah.
Which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But they cut out all the boobs. You're like, oh.
Sounds painful.
Darn it, Nintendo.
You're like, no.
Oh, we still gotta play some Don't Starve, by the way.
Mm-hmm. We gotta do that.
I'm looking forward to that. You were talking about it earlier, Nick. I love cooperative games as well. Anything co-op, I pretty much like have a Steam library of cooperative games. So that's like, if I see it's on sale and it's co-op, I'll probably buy it. I know.
Oh yeah, it's so much funner just to work together. I mean, especially in like today's multiplayer-driven society, it's so nice to work with somebody instead of against somebody. Even on like a multiplayer game, I prefer a more team-oriented game like Battlefield or I like class systems and something.
I've been playing Evolve.
Battlefield.
I know people will disagree with me here, but Evolve is actually pretty cool. My friend's been getting me into that.
I really like that.
Yeah, it's a really fun game.
I think the problem was, it's a little unbalanced.
They've done a lot of tweaking.
Yeah, they've done a lot of tweaking, and it's really about getting a group together, and that's unfortunate with some of the games that have come out recently that are multiplayer focused. I mean, because you have like the same thing with Siege. I think Siege did a little bit better, but when you have nothing but online, and especially Evolve, where it was like you had to learn your stuff and you had to do it correctly. And then so you have all these people who are maybe just wanting a Call of Duty, and that's not what that is. You're supposed to, you're supposed to be a hunter. You're supposed to be looking out for signs. Oh, there's a broken twig over there. Or, oh, something was eaten right here, you know, and instead you just have people running around. Footprints! Oh, pretty! You know, and it's like, but you use everything the way it's supposed to be used, and all of a sudden it turns into this tactical game. And
Yeah.
I mean, I applaud, like, I think IGN gave it a pretty decent score, and I think even GameStop gave it a pretty decent score, you know, and because they were looking at it as, you know, a technical standpoint, it's like, this is a very cooperative game, you know, and unfortunately a lot of other people were just saying, oh, all you do is just run around. It's like, well, yeah, if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, luckily I had the privilege of having a friend who's really experienced in the game to sit down and explain the game to me from the
Right.
monster side and the hunter side, and break down each class and each monster and each character in the different classes as well, because you know there's different. You have 4 different classes, but then you have different characters within those classes, and it's a very refreshing game. I still play it. We get on every now and then. We did some practice gaming yesterday against the robots. I mean, it's a very, very tactical game. I mean, it's very close to like a MOBA, except for
Yes.
that like 4-on-1.
Especially like the evacuation game mode, where you're doing the generators.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean that's definitely like a MOBA because you have monsters that spawn and attack and whatnot. Very much so. I mean, there's some characters that remind me of like a mixture of some of the characters in like League of Legends or Dota, like
Right.
Bucket. He drops down these turrets and all kinds of different things. I mean, I mean, lots of different people have turrets, but the way he does it reminds me of Heimerdinger, not just like the engineer from Team Fortress. He doesn't sit there and build it. He actually just tosses it out and tosses another one out. But yeah, I mean, it's a very, very fun game. But yeah, to get back onto Evolve, there are some great cooperative games that kind of get swept under the rug because they're not fully understood. Too many people just do what you say, to just hop on the game by themselves and just like bounce around and look and this is a crappy game. Like, you don't have any. You gotta get some friends, bro. Like, a lot of people do that, and that's what really sucks. Is a lot of people on like the really big multiplayer games, not just the couch co-op ones, which are easier to get into. The online co-op ones, they tend to degrade really fast because you have to actually interact with other people if you don't have any friends you're getting into it with. It sucks. It really does. I could talk about co-op games forever, though.
Right.
More games.
Hey, what do you play that on? I'm assuming PC?
PC mostly, yeah. I have a PS4 now. I have Gauntlet on that. So I think that's the only co-op game I have besides the Resident Evil one that was free. Yeah, anything that's co-op. I want to get Killing Floor, like Lord of the Rings. I know people hate that game. Battlefront, good point, Jared. Battlefront is another game that I have. I want to play that again, actually. So we need to. There's so many games that we could play. So many games that we could play. We gotta do some games. I know I'm like the unicorn, so I can't really talk too much. But yeah,
because I have a PlayStation 4, so that's why I asked. I have a computer because I'm using
Rocket
it right
League.
now. But yeah, that's all I only have. It's only good for internet, so I do all my stuff mainly on the PlayStation 4. I'll branch out later, but
yeah, I'm not getting an Xbox One anytime soon.
me
Yeah,
neither.
I'm kind of not going to waste my time with that.
Yay!
Welcome to the family.
Right?
Well, I'm not honestly. I'm not going to waste my time with a PS4.
Yeah.
This generation, there's just nothing about it that impresses me that a
Fuck
PC
you,
can't
Ian.
do better. Yeah, you take it. Yeah, just be offended by my truth.
Street Fighter V is the reason I got it.
But it's
And I got
PC.
yeah, but I mean the tournaments are going to do PS4. Don't let me get into the technical aspects of this, damn it. God. But I have a BenQ monitor in the other room, which is like one of the best, actually the best monitor that you can get for a fighting game because of the refresh rate.
Okay, I was thinking like you guys still use CRTs because of the excellent refresh rate on those.
I know. BenQ is what Evo uses, so that's what we got.
You guys actually going to go to that Evo in Las Vegas or no?
I'm not, but some of the people in my my community are going.
The house guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So a couple of guys are going to that.
But I'm like, man, Vegas is expensive.
I want to go next year, like for multiple reasons. If I can keep doing more interviews and getting more people to talk to me about fighting games, I've definitely got to go because that's where all the best of the best go. At least in America.
I think I had a buddy who went like I think 3 years ago, and like the best female player in the world, he beat her in the first round, but she was just learning how he played, and then she just crushed him without him even being able to hit her like the next 3 rounds.
Oh yeah, they do that. They do that.
Yeah.
They'll lowball you.
Yeah,
like sitting there watching.
It was so funny, but he was so proud of the fact he beat her 1 round, and then she just destroyed him. It was pretty good.
Yeah. There was quite a few girls in Chicago when I went to Frosty Faustings, and they were good. They're really good. Can't wait. But yeah, that's the main reason I got Street Fighter 4 or the PS4 for that, and then I got the Darth Vader edition of the PS4. So. Yes. If it wasn't hooked up, I'd show you right now. Oh, plus I got this right here, which still working on some kinks, but this little thing right here made it so that I can use my 360 fight stick with the PS4. So I don't have to get a new fight stick because I'm in love with this one. I do want to get the new one, but I mean I love this Mad Catz fight stick.
The true masters actually build their own fight stick.
Hey, I'm not a master.
Actually, technically, Mad Catz allows you to really swap out a lot of their pieces. A lot of them are interchangeable, so Mad Catz has actually stepped up on their fighting sticks. I think they make one of the best available fighting sticks for a good price. That's
so funny that Mad Catz is actually a symbol of quality in this day and age, as far as like how hard they're trying to make their controllers. Because I remember when I was like not trying to diss Mad Catz. But when I was a kid, like you'd buy. What I loved about Mad Catz when I was a kid, though, is they made the most unconventional controllers for every system. Like it was always like the weirdest goddamn shape. But they made this great 360 controller that was like it actually made it possible to use all the buttons at once.
Whoa!
You're like, what?
I like the ones that have the fans on the inside, so like your pockets all sweating.
I had one of those. That was weird.
Yeah.
It was a very odd sensation.
I like the fact that Mad Catz is a top quality piece of equipment and they are great to their affiliates.
It's like Mad Catz is like, oh, I gotta write that guy a check today.
Plug.
Not to mention, if you click down below, you'll see that they're one of our affiliate sponsors. So Mad Catz gets 2 thumbs up from the Console Xplosion.
No, in all seriousness though, I only do use Mad Catz fight sticks. Like, not even if they weren't my affiliate, like I'm not. I do really like their I won't use their controllers personally, just because I usually use the actual manufacturer. But when it comes to fight sticks, I've tried other fight sticks. My roommate and other people in the RFGC have other fight sticks, but I don't like any of the other fight sticks except maybe 8-Arc. That's the only other one. But I mean. They're like $300 for those, and I like
what's funny about that is like if you want like one of my buddies, he built his own fight stick because he wanted the actual arcade buttons, and they still manufacture those buttons. You can actually control build boards and stuff like that and put those into them.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, aren't the higher end fight sticks? Can't you change out the buttons?
Yes.
Or other higher-end arcade buttons. You can change out the buttons.
Honestly,
right?
yeah. I mean, this fight stick, I could unhook it right now and change all the buttons to pink, which I've thought about doing multiple times. Change the button. You can take.
It will be pink for you.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to make all this pink. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, you can take all these buttons right here. Just unscrew these screws, and it's really simple. I learned a lot about that from the guy I bought this from I bought this in Chicago at Frosty Faustings. There was a booth. Actually, you could go there and get your stick modified. Like they would, you could buy the buttons or the rim and all, and the ball. You could buy all of that, or they could also install it for you right there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and I mean it takes like a few minutes. It's not hard at all.
Yeah, one of them is actually for anybody out there who's watching or listening on Mixcloud. Exclusively get the audio versions of our podcast on mixcloud.com/Console Xplosion. Anyways, if one controller that's actually really good was the Mortal Kombat Anniversary Edition, or the Mortal Kombat 9 fight stick.
Oh, man, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not a big fan of fighting games, but I actually almost dropped like the $80 to buy that because it was such a nice fight stick.
That fight stick is so good. It flips up. It opens up, and it's meant for you to learn how to change the buttons, change the controller, change everything in there. It's meant to do that. But then if you get like the Mortal Kombat 1 Anniversary Edition one, it doesn't open up. It's not as good. But the Mortal Kombat 9 one, if you can track that one down, it's a really good fight stick for people who want to learn how to mod their stuff properly, or even just get into it. It's a really good stick. It was one I wanted, but I ended up getting the Injustice one, which is just as cool.
Yeah, like I don't even like fighting games that much, and I almost got that because it was just such a nice, well-built fighting stick. It was weird. I was like, there's just craftsmanship in this one. It was odd.
They put some good work into that one for sure. And I don't know if you guys saw the Killer Instinct fight stick. I saw it at Best Buy a couple days ago. It's like $500 for the fight stick. God. And I'm like, oh wow! Look at this Killer Instinct fight stick. This is really cool. Looking at it and everything, flipped it over, checked the price tag, $500. I'm like, nope.
Put it back down.
Just put that back, and you're like, no, I don't. Yep. Just walk away and just cry.
I hate my life. Yeah, that's really expensive. I'll have to look that up.
That's like the kind of thing that people spend like the $300 on the racing chair for their gaming setup.
Mm-hmm.
It's on par with that as far as like useless accessories.
Ooh, I wonder why it's so pricey. I have to look into this thing. But I can't wait. Next month, Street Fighter 5. Yeah. Anybody getting it? Nobody?
No. I'll wait till the super arcade super edition comes out.
Super
Street Fighter Super Turbo 5.
Yeah.
Fourth Strike.
I'm trying to think of how many versions of Street Fighter 2 I have.
Uh-oh. Busting them out.
No, I'm just looking back on because I know I have Street Fighter Turbo 2. I don't know, Tournament Edition Turbo crap. I don't remember.
Well, you need to think about how many fucking versions of Street Fighter 4 are there.
There's only 3 of 4.
9.
Of 4?
9 of 4.
List them
7
off
of 9. 7 of 9.
What? Are you sure? There's Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and Ultra Street Fighter 4. There's also a Mega, which is not an actual version.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like that mode that you can pick as an extra. It was basically like a beta version of Street Fighter 5.
And there's Street Fighter 4. We need pocket money. Street Fighter 4 Executives Are Going on Vacation Edition. Street Fighter 4 The Executives Wanted to Order a Pizza. And Street Fighter 4 How Much More Money Can We Milk Out of These Suckers with This Franchise? Don't you remember those ones?
I don't recall those, actually.
There's at least 2 or 3 more of those in there. That are like, CEO needs a new house, Street Fighter.
I mean, what's the difference between that and an expansion?
No, that was with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate Edition. CEO needs new house.
Well, it was like I don't know. Back in the day, though, like the reason why there were billions of different versions of Street Fighter 2 was because they kept making little changes that, like, I would say ultimately improved the game. Because when you came to the end version, there was some pretty good balancing and like a lot of characters to pick from.
But it also makes sense too, right? Like, because I mean, you don't have downloadable stuff. You can't download the changes to it. So it made sense to put it on a new cartridge, add more levels, add new characters, tweak it a little. It made sense. But when you're a disk-based system that's connected to the internet 24/7, come on.
Well, I mean, like the problem is people still all for it.
Well, but I don't understand what you're saying though, because those were all downloadable. You could have Street Fighter 4 and just download the DLC without having to buy the disc again.
I don't know. The funny thing about that is that a lot of companies now, if your game has been out for longer than X period of time, they're not going to keep you on the shelf.
Yeah,
that's true. It's going to bump you off. So by them re-releasing it, they're reopening that shelf space to potentially new customers, which isn't necessarily a bad idea. But
they did. But Marvel vs. Capcom, I will admit, they did a whole nother release. Even though it was $40 instead of $60, they did do that. You couldn't like upgrade your Marvel vs. Capcom vanilla.
No.
That was bullshit. I will admit that.
Man, I need,
But
I
Street
need
Fighter,
that
they
for
actually
Dreamcast.
went the good route and get shit all over our faces. Didn't mean to make you spit your wine or anything. But yeah.
No, we're fine. I got it down before I did the spit take.
All right. Yeah. I understand where you guys are coming from, but for someone who actually plays this game, there's a lot of content that goes into it.
You mean a sucker? Coming from a sucker, there's a lot of content. You got to justify the reason why you spend $40 on every new version. You let us know.
I mean, I'm not justifying it because I want it. There's no justification. It's just I want what the download has.
You want to stay competitive, yeah, you got to be in there.
Right. I mean, it's fun. I want to play with my friends. But how many games have you guys bought that were, not popular anymore? I mean, there's not. I mean, I could find a reason to justify it, but I don't really want to. But there's tons of bullshit games that I'm sure you bought that were, you spent like $60 on. Most of the time, it's like $20 to $40 for these DLCs. So I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
I'll admit, for Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 1942, I spent more money than I ever should have on stupid crap expansions.
Right.
I'll admit that. So I mean, that's a similar concept, and it didn't really add.
Well, I understand. Like, to stay the fighting genre. I mean, you have normal Ken, but fuck, you got to get that pink cowboy Ken because he moves a little bit faster.
Well, I mean, the really serious freaking like fighting game people, they figure out all that crap about what that model can do, and if there's any exploits to that model, it's amazing.
Yeah, usually it's very psychological.
And actually, you
go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say you can see a lot of that type of technobabble about Street Fighter on our last weekly wrap-up that was done by the philosopher Tavia in there. He brought up a lot of good points about things that I really wouldn't give a shit about, like walking speed and hitbox and stuff like that. Like, for me as a normal player, I'll just go on the buttons.
Is this what you do? I hear you just like. This is how you play.
Oh, that's how I play. I mean, like, literally, like, what you need to do is play Dead or Alive like any of them. Blindfold one guy and have him fight another dude and realize that the dude blindfolded has just as equal of a chance to beat the dude without the blindfold because it's such a button-mashing piece of crap game. I don't care what any of you say.
Nick, just so you know, I don't know if he knows, but like I love Dead or Alive 5.
Sorry, I'm talking shit to you, Tavian, sorry.
I kind of figured, but I had to explain to him just so he knew.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't get it. But yeah. Oh man, I could talk about fighting games all night, but we are just about out of time. But I know you did mention, Jared. I know you want to talk about those cartoons real quick. If you want to bring those up before we head out.
Cartoon Network is bringing back 2 versions of the Justice League. The first version is like a Justice League action, and it actually is bringing back Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill as the Joker. Some news on that part to see Mark Hamill, redo the Joker role, considering he said he retired it. And then the other one, which is more of a darker look, I think, anyways, from what I've seen for material, is the Justice League versus Teen Titans. So fans of the Teen Titans show are going to get a more realistic of both Justice League and Teen Titans in something that might look good or be completely shitty like Batman versus Superman. Which they just announced that Bizarro is in the movie.
Oh, so it is Bizarro. It's not going to be Doomsday?
No, it's Doomsday. It's Doomsday.
But they're also
Bizarro's
in it too. That's way too many people.
What? You can't... What? They're gonna... Oh my god, that's like every freaking good hero they could use in one movie. Oh god, this is terrible.
Sam Raimi it.
I don't think
and
it's
I feel so bad for
I think
Sam
already
Raimi.
did.
Like, he did such a good job on Spider-Man 1 and 2. But like, Spider-Man 3 was like Sony Pictures was forcing crap down his throat. And that was just bullshit.
Yeah, but for him to not want to use Venom in the proper frame and setup,
He didn't want to use Venom at all. And that was the problem.
Fuck him. There was the Venom.
Keep going.
I was just gonna say Venom was the greatest because that could have turned into a Carnage crossover later on.
Yeah, it could have, but his goal was to create a good end piece to the trilogy. He didn't want to waste time with Venom, unfortunately. Like, Venom's a great character. I mean, there's a lot of potential there. But with the direction he was going initially, it totally screwed up the pacing and the way the film was put together, because you ended up with fucking emo Peter Parker, which was...
Oh, God.
Oh, God. I mean, like, there was so much stuff he could have done. And, like, if Sony Pictures would realize that their meddling isn't helping Spider-Man at all, I think they would do much better.
I think Sony Pictures just needs to step out of all their movies.
Oh, they literally need to give it back to Marvel at this point and just let Marvel make the next Spider-Man movie, and it would be a lot better.
Well, he's going to
Which
be
they
the Avengers.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
They announced
they're letting Spider-Man be in the next Avengers movie, but they're not going to let go of creative control of that license because they paid a lot of money for it, and they're going to milk it as much as they can.
I thought
there's also another standalone.
There's another. They signed over another standalone Spider-Man movie to be made by
Sony
Marvel.
has rights to make a Spider-Man movie. Sorry, that wasn't true. I wasn't clear.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'd like to see them give up X-Men back to Marvel.
Oh yeah, Fox has X-Men, so that's
yes.
But
still,
X-Men has just gotten so bad. Like even the first. I don't know. When I was a kid, it was acceptable because I didn't know necessarily what quality and acting looked like. But it's done this wave of just mediocrity where I'm like, just give it up, man. Just give it up.
Do you know what happens when a frog gets zapped by lightning?
The same as anything else.
Best line ever.
I'm like, man, they can do so much more with Halle Berry. Come on.
Halle Berry.
Like take her top off.
Monsters Ball? Yeah.
Swordfish.
Oh yeah, it was Swordfish. Yeah, my bad.
Nobody's watching Monsters Ball. Do not watch that movie.
Didn't she have a full on?
Way better movie. Swordfish is a way better movie. Nobody's watching Monsters Ball. Nobody wants to
Didn't she bang
see
Billy Bob Thornton?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, nobody wants to fucking watch that. What the fuck? Sling Blade over there? Jesus. God.
Dead.
Actually, I think we're pretty much wrapping it up here, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I just wanted to take this opportunity. I wish there was more people here, but I think the four of us is fine. Every single person here. Nick, this is your first one, which welcome. Tavian and Ian, you guys have been on it for quite a bit. Tavian's taken over halfway through, and it's been great. This is our 50th podcast, so give you guys a round of applause.
Woo! Yeah. All right. Feels good.
It's we're on number 50, and yeah, they're just getting better. We've switched to a video podcast with here, and we've switched to the audio on our Mixcloud. We're getting more new features of Nicholas here.
Yep.
To be a part of it. Different views. We got views from other members, from Joey, Tyler, Indy, otherwise known as John, one of the Andrews from A Squared. Who else has been on here that we've...
Antonio. Great.
Antonio. Antonio. Mark has been on here a few times.
The director from Love and the Time of Monsters, he's pretty great.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep. Love in the Time of Monsters. You guys haven't seen that movie, pick it up. Really funny. And if you don't know what it is, watch our Intercast about it.
Yeah, we've had a few Intercasts as well, which is really fun. We have Ralph Bakshi, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing, and I missed it, and I want to kill myself.
You remember the greatest part, Tavian, about that the Ralph Bakshi Intercast?
There were so many. Which one are you talking about?
Oh, the greatest part is when there was no Ian.
Yeah, the part where he said he was proud of me, and great.
Or the part where he said that he really loved doing the Intercast and he wants to do it again. And I said, there's other people who want to be part of it. And he's like, nope, just you guys.
He did say that, didn't he?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking done. Later, guys.
But in all seriousness, it has been really fun doing this. It's really awesome. So I'm very grateful. I've got to meet some very cool, talented people. Hopefully to continue to do such. And as always, want to thank my guests as well. Did you have any other points that you wanted to make, Jared?
Oh yeah, actually, you need to thank a lot of the guests you've had for your other podcasts, like the Comic special, the artist that you had on here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I have had a lot of different guests on here.
Remember doing these?
No, yeah, I remember. Yeah, Leveda.
You had a lot of different guests on here.
Yeah, Leveda, Holden, and Ben from Street Fighter. They play Street Fighter competitively. They're really good at Street Fighter. Mark, he's the owner of the House of M. Also my roommate, so a very cool guy. I live in a gaming house now, so that's really awesome. I'm hoping to do more of that soon. I've had a few other guests on here as well, so I hope to have more. I'm working on getting some more, and not that there's anything wrong with you guys at all, but I want to have a diverse collection of people on the show and getting different mindsets, and then bringing back that knowledge to you guys. So yeah, more to come. Definitely grateful for everyone who's come on so far. Thank you, Nick, for joining, by the way.
Thank you.
I appreciate
I wish
that.
I had more to say, but I don't like fighter games. And
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. We'll have to talk about some more interesting topics for you. I'll have to check out your YouTube page. Also, it's a good point. Is let them know where they can find you. I will have everything down in the description below, but if you just want to go ahead and mention where they can find you.
It's Deadly Operative Grunts on YouTube. I am also on Facebook, and so anything that they kind of interlink, so anytime I throw up something. And once again, that's Wednesdays for video games, Fridays for movies, and Sunday I always do a live stream for my PlayStation 4.
Sounds good. Ian, where can they find you?
You can find me at historicnerd.com or my YouTube channel, Historic Nerd. Or if you want to talk to me directly, you can talk to me directly at historicalnerd on twitter.com. But yeah.
All right.
And
And
those
then,
places.
Jared, you pretty much already said a lot already, but is there anything else?
No, I'm just proud to see that our podcast hit 50. And again, I'd like to also thank the former host as well, Matt Campbell. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. You're an integral part of it. Sad to see you go, but again, I'd like to give you a round of applause as well because you deserve it. No? No one else is going to clap? Wow, sorry about that, Matt.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
I helped.
But yeah, so nonetheless, it's happy to see 50. Can't wait to see 100 and just see where we go with the next 50. So, yeah, ConsoleXplosion.com.
Yeah. Like you just said, ConsoleXplosion.com. We've got all these guys on there. You can check out everyone that we've had on the podcast at some point on the ConsoleXplosion.com. You can find me on Facebook.com/philosopher, YouTube.com/philosopher, and Twitter/philosopher. And always, we do have the forums, so check that out. And as you mentioned below, or as you mentioned before, we have all our affiliate links, and we're going to have links to all these guys as well. So thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you as always, and we'll see you in the next one.